All right, welcome back, everybody. May the Most High bless you. I pray all is well with everybody as we give the Most High all the honor, the glory, and all the praise. My title now says, The Animosity Between the Two Sons. And I want to talk about Isaac and Ishmael for a moment. This is our real talk for today. I get a lot of questions about this because a lot of people wondering why the world is in the shape it's in, and trying to understand where we at now without understanding what happened in the past. You're never really going to understand it. And that's why I want to do this video about these two sons. And it's such a great debate because according to what you study or read, we could say, you got people that, are going to say the Quran said this. Well, brother, the King James Bible said this. Well, brother, the African Bible says this. So, it's each to their own, what you believe. I'm not trying to knock nobody's belief. What you do is what you do. What you believe is what you believe. But I want to make that point because according to which one you're studying, then you're not going to agree with this video. And then according to the one you're studying, then you're not going to agree with this video. Somebody catch that later on. But let me start off by saying this. For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing sunder of soul and spirit, and it's of the joints and the marrow. It's a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart. What we see in the Middle East is no joke. It's no joke at all. When you keep seeing all this beheading, murder, kidnapping, hatred, religion versus religion, you have to understand what we living in was already foretold. Brother Tim, you asked me, why is it that Jews and Arabs or Muslims, why do they all hate each other? Well, let's set the record straight by saying this. Because to say that everybody hate, that would be the wrong thing for me to say. Because I know Muslims who love Christians. I know Arabs who get along with Muslims. I know Christians who can't stand Christians. You see what I'm saying? I know some that claim to be Muslims that can't stand each other. But let's set the record straight because everybody's always stereotyping. You got some people saying that they Jews and they not. So every Arab is not a Muslim. I'm going to say it again. Every Arab is not a Muslim. And not every Muslim are Arabs. Just like I'm going to say this again. Just like all Christians are not Christians. A lot of people claim to be this, claim to be that, but when you look at their actions, they don't line up. I know Muslims, once again, that don't hate Jews. See, it's evil people out here in every religion, pretty much. But then there are some that actually love and they hate to see when somebody else murders somebody else. You see what I'm saying? So the stereotyping is what most people are going to do anyway. That's why I care nothing for religion. I don't claim religion nor tradition. You can see some people that really they get along with each other, and that might be a Muslim, that might be an Arab. They just have different beliefs. Just like I can talk to a Muslim in South Dallas, and we would never have a fallout. They're very respectful, very intelligent. They just believe something different. And they try to convince me that I need to get off of this and get off of that. Now that's when I keep it moving, because I say you got your belief and I got mine. It's always going to be division. Just like I talk to my atheist people on here. I have actually had a couple of atheist people that became believers. They was very intelligent. See, the problem is we so quick to write people off that we never try to hear them out. It's good to hear people out, but when people start talking to you crazy, then keep on moving, So I wanted to make that point before I move a little further in this video because the animosity between these two sons. Let's go back to Abraham. Go back to Abraham and his sons. Now, when you look at Isaac and Ishmael, see, Father Abraham wasn't perfect either. He messed up. listen at his wife. But when you look at the Jews, let's just do a little teaching here. Those Jews, they were descendants of Abraham's son, Isaac. That's the difference. So when you see Isaac, you see the Jews. The descendant of his son, Isaac, there's the Jews. But then the Arabs came into place. They was the descendants of his son, Ishmael. So you see Isaac, you see Ishmael. Who was the promised child? Well, here we go. According to which Bible you reading, what you studying, one will tell you Ishmael pretty much was the promised child. King James says that Isaac was the promised child. The Quran says something different. So, once again, I have to make this point. According to what you study and what you believe, it's each to their own. This is why you got so much confusion and debating. Because Ishmael, being the son of a slave woman, Hagar, that caused a lot of problems. Abraham messed up when he listened to his wife. That should have never happened where Abraham slept around with Hagar. Sarah told him to do that. When you try to get ahead of God like they did is when they messed up. The promised child, according to the King James Bible, was Isaac. Genesis 16 shows you this. On your own time, you want to read verses 1 through 16, there it is. But it shows you who the promised child was. Now, we know anytime there is family, there is consequences, there is problems. But then you see inheritance, you see blessings. Look at a funeral right now. Anytime somebody dies, somebody fighting over who gonna get what. Well, I want to make that point because with these two sons here, the animosity, Ishmael was jealous of Isaac. He was. Hatred came along. Trouble. That's why I want to title this video once again, the animosity between the two sons. Because all of this war, you see, all of this stuff goes back to the family. It's a family feud. That's what it is. And if you don't understand what happened back then, how you going to understand what's going on now? See, I believe it was around verse 12 in Genesis chapter 16. The Bible said that Ishmael was a wild man. The Bible said his hand was going to be against every man, and every man's hand against him. See, that don't sound too good, do it? The Bible said he was going to dwell in the presence of his brethren. Ishmael wanted to be the promise. See, a lot of Arabs follow the religion of what? Islam. But once again, if you pick up the Quran and look at the Quran, you will see scriptures at one point where it pretty much tells Muslims to treat Jews as brothers. But then at another point, if you keep reading, it'll command Muslims to attack Jews who refuse to convert to Islam. So when you cut on the TV or the news or the internet, what did you see a lot of times now? Somebody kidnapping somebody, holding the gun over to their head, trying to make them convert over to them. And if they don't convert over to them or give them what they want, what do? They kill them. And then you look at Christianity. Look at how many Christians go against Christians. Once again, religion causes division. That's why Revelation teaches you it's going to be, all of that, it's going to be one world religion. You see what I'm saying? Some people believe that Ishmael really was supposed to be the chosen, according to what Bible they read. That's why you hear this debate. You see it on YouTube. Nah, it's Ishmael, not Isaac. Y'all need to quit reading that Bible. That Bible ain't right. My Bible the right Bible. You need to read the Quran. You need to read the Torah. You need to read this. You need to read that. And the thing is, which one do I read? How do I know what's right? All of them got scriptures. They supposed to be bagging this up. Well, we got to keep this in mind. What we reading is not what they had back then. We got translations. The original manuscripts, and trying to convert all of that stuff into English, a lot of things are not taken the right way. Because the Hebrew scripture says promised child was Isaac. The Quran says it was Ishmael. The Quran teaches that it was Ishmael who Abraham almost sacrificed to the Lord, not Isaac. If you studied that, if you ever read it, then you know what I'm talking. You understand what I'm saying. Then you got what else that's causing all the confusion? Politics mixed all up in it. Well, what do you think war is really all about? What do you think the government is really doing? You got a mess. I'm going to tell you something from studying. If you remember, if you study after World War II, when the United States gave that portion of the land of Israel to the Jewish people, the land was ruled by who? The British. And primarily it was inhabited by the Arabs. So you had about 1/3 of the population that was Jewish. But then you wonder why you see their allies. You wonder why you see Israel always into it with their neighbors. When you look at Egypt, when you look at Jordan, when you look at, we all know Iraq, and we all know Syria. Now the biggest talk now is ISIS. But when you see what's really going on, look at who always been trying to attack Israel. Then you wonder why all of this stuff is always happening in the Middle East. When you go back to 1948, I wasn't born then, and some of y'all wasn't either. But when you go back to that, it's been a mess between Israel for the longest. Israel and their neighbors. Now you see a lot of Christians and Muslims into it. But this animosity will never be straightened up until our Savior returns. See, some of these decisions we make in life, like Abraham and Sarah when they got ahead of God, some of these decisions we make in life will cause a lifetime of misery if we're not careful. But I'm saying that, but I'm also saying it to say this. The Most High still blessed Ishmael. Still blessed him. Show you how powerful and loving our Father is. Still blessed Ishmael. But Sarah had no business offering her servant to Abraham. And Abraham didn't have no business getting her pregnant. So we got an ongoing battle that's been going on. This animosity is still going on. Because when the Most High blessed Ishmael, in so many words I like to say it like this. There was 12 rulers, 12 princes, we could say. Princes, not princesses, but 12 princes. Rulers of Ishmael. And then we all know about what? The 12 tribes of Israel. So there's your division. The 12 tribes of Israel, then the 12 princes, or we could say 12 rulers of Ishmael, versus the 12 tribes of Israel. Whose name was turned into Israel? Jacob. You see what I'm saying? Who did Isaac and Rebekah have? Jacob and Esau. Look at what happened between Jacob and Esau. And I'm gonna say something crazy. It's all of this war is still a spiritual battle. The demons, Satan gets off in you. He gets off in you. The Bible already told us once again that the last great battle will put Israel against the rest of the Middle East and all their allies. That's why you see so much war. The animosity between the two sons. The Bible is proving itself, even though a lot of people are saying it's fake. See, the Bible told us Ishmael had been born according to flesh. And that Isaac had been born according to the promise. Well, JT, that don't make sense what you're saying. I might have to do a part 2 about being born again. That's why I don't really like to use the word being born again, because it wasn't really in the manuscript like that. It's born from above, from above, which a lot of people don't understand when I say that, because Nicodemus asked that question, how can a man be born again? That's why I like to say born from above, because when you think about this, I give you an example. Like the Bible just said, Ishmael had been born according to the flesh, and Isaac had been born to the promise. Well, if you are a promised child of the Most High, and then you look at something like, how did the fallen angels get here? See what I'm saying? Y'all catch that? How did the fallen angels get here? Then how did JT and you get here? When we was born from the womb. That's why you say, how can the man enter a second time? It's born from above. A lot of people walking around saying, I'm born again. I was saved and such. I'm born again. But do they really understand what they saying? I'm just being real, not trying to knock nobody. Just doing a little teaching there. Because those fallen angels came in another way. They slept with the daughters of men and got them pregnant and came up with giants. See, I didn't come in the world like they did. I was born through the womb. And when you look at all of this, let me get back on track. How Ishmael was jealous of Isaac. And then you fast forward to our day's time. How many brothers and sisters right now are jealous of each other? They can't stand each other. They can't get along with each other to save their life. Things got out of hand so bad that Sarah wanted Ishmael and his mother, Hagar, to be totally put out of Abraham's family. Now you see how dirty that was? First you're going to tell your husband to sleep with her. Then when he sleep with her, get her pregnant, you want the son and the mama gone. We got some women walking around like that right now, not all. So when you look at that and add all that up to where we at now, generation after generation after generation, descendants, it's a lot of people on this earth now. It's a lot of war, it's a lot of hatred. Racism ain't never left. Hatred is not going nowhere. That's why I want to say, when you go down the line later on, what do you see? Jacob and Esau. We all know about the birthright. Just keep going. And what else took place? Favoritism. Oh, how Isaac showed so much favor on Esau because of how skillful he was. He was a great hunter. And then Rebekah showed favoritism on Jacob. See, Jacob was more of like a family man, we could say, kind of to himself, but Esau was just, well, we could say Esau was like a family man too in so many ways. But Esau was out there out there hunting. Esau could bring you back the fattest steak and taters. Isaac like that. And anytime you show favoritism, I'm going somewhere with this video. When you show favoritism, you got animosity. You got division. You got a hot mess. And I can't stand when I see parents showing favoritism. So y'all, let me close this video because I want to end it like this. Check this out. The U.S. has been politically and economically and sometimes, I ain't gonna say sometimes, politics, economics, military, all that is involved in the Middle East. It's been going on for decades. Decades, y'all. The U.S. have played a part of some dirty stuff. But then you can see where it supported Israel. See what I'm saying? How they have helped Israel with all kind of, I can't even count the money. I can't tell you how much money been blowed in the war. And how they helped Israel to win their wars against their Arab neighbors. That's why you see the Arabs. You see this war. You see what the Muslims do. You see this. You see what the Christians do. It don't matter what you call out. Everybody at war. And you wonder why I say as I close, there will be no real peace until the Prince of Peace return. But there will be a false peace. Because somebody kind of come in here and clean it up to make it look so pretty. But that's who come first, the Antichrist, the devil. That's what most people basing their escape route on. versus Christ, the spiritual number of completion is 7. He never changed that, and he never will. So I think I'd rather stick with the 7 than the 6. For all the pre-trail believers, I feel sorry for you, but I'm praying for you. May the Most High bless you, keep you. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Peace out.